Hey everyone, here we've got the Mossberg 715 Tactical. We're going to be repairing the bolt jamming issue, where the bolt, after you fire a shot, the bolt stays back. This is a common issue. If this is not the problem with your gun, then this is not the repair for it. We're going to be using basic tools. A Phillips screwdriver, which is on the multi-tool there, a digital micrometer. If you don't have a micrometer, just go and buy one. They're cheap nowadays. You can get one for like $20. So we're gonna first we're gonna prove it's safe. As you can see, the red tang there, there's nothing in it. I'm gonna pull the magazine out, and then I'm gonna be again disassembling it. Okay, I just want to be a little bit more clear on how it comes apart first. Just note that if it's not opening up, you feel like you're forcing it, you're doing it wrong. This gun comes apart very easy. So first thing you need to do is this screw comes out of here, the butt stock comes off. Now it's still attached by the sling, that's fine. Then second is the rail here. Now both sides you've got these pieces. There will be 3 screws holding them in both sides. Then you've got 4 Phillips screws right down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then you've got the screws on the end here. Now this comes off 2 pieces. I'm leaving the screws in there so that they're not lost. Now I just lift this up. Kind of give it a little wiggle. There, now that other half is off. If you're finding that you're going to lose the screws, what I like to do is take a piece of paper, draw the gun, and then put the screws all in the place they're supposed to go and put a little circle over them. That's usually a pretty easy way. Now, we're going to take the sling off of the end here, just slide that off the end of the barrel. And now we can just put the buttstock completely to the side. Now we're left with the gun itself here, and all we've got to do, all the screws are out, is just lift that off. Now there's an Allen screw right here and one right here, and that is the only thing that separates the gun itself from coming out of the plastic shell. I just want to note something. There's 2 Allen screws here. The short one goes in the front, the long one goes in the rear. Do not confuse those. Anyways, now the gun can just pop out of the shell. So it's out, we got 2 halves. Now here's the gun itself. Okay, now I want to be clear about what the problem is with this, what we're after to fix here, and that is the bolt. So now you put your magazine in. You got 10 rounds in there, unless you're lucky and you got the 25 round magazine. Now you fire a shot and the bolt stays back. Instead of acting semi-auto like, the bolt stays back after every shot or every second shot. Okay, now to save you some time, you don't need to take this completely apart. The only part that we are modifying is the bolt itself. It has to come out. The rest of this can stay in here. Now, this is the pin. There's one right here and one right here. You only need to take this one out. Only take this one out. And now from this side, you guys see that they're flush mounted. Now I've already pulled it out here. But on the back, you're going to see that you might be able to see it's kind of pushed in on one side here. That is the side that you push in. It does not come out the other way. It only comes out one way. So you're going to push the pin out this way. So push the pin out, push it out that way. It's only going to go out that way, not the other way. So now that you've got that out, you're just going to gently pull down on this. Bolt is out. I had to use 2 hands to do that and put the camera down. What you're going to need to do is when you pull down on this, just pull the slide back to about here, and then you can pull it down more, and then you can just slip the bolt out. If you cannot do it that way, you can take the pin out and then take the whole assembly apart, but then there is more to put back together. Now let's take a look at the bolt. You're looking at the bolt here. Now you're going to notice when you're looking at yours that mine is shorter here. Now this end is all that you're going to pay any attention to. Now it goes in like this, so your finger goes against here to pull it back. Now yours is going to have a tang on the top here. It's going to have an extra piece. So basically this area right here is what you're going to be modifying. You're not going to change the thickness of this. You're just going to simply trim this piece down. You're going to shorten the end here. Now you can do this with a file. I found that it was easiest to just, with how much you're taking off, to use a hacksaw just to quickly take it off. Now I'll show you the measurement. Nothing changes this way, nothing changes, okay? Nothing changes this way. It's only the actual length of it. So we'll get that in there. That is how much yours should be. Now it should be that length. So this is where you can pause the video and make sure that you're getting it to that length. Now once you got to that length, you're going to see the back side here. So the back side right here, you want to take your file and just give it a little slope down, just a little gentle slope down. And this right here, you want to take your file and make sure that this is sharp right here. You don't want to round this off, because this is now what is going to hold your bolt open. Now without this lip right here, your bolt will not stay open. So very simple. It's just, you're just squaring the end right here. As you can see, mine's not perfect. Doesn't have to be super perfect, just gotta be enough. And when you're done this modification, you're going to notice that you've got to push a little bit harder into the so putting it in here, when you slide it back, you're going to have to push a little bit harder for it to stay in there. Okay, now it will stay in there. If you've done this correctly, it will stay in there. One last little thing is, when you're done filing it and everything is correct, take some very fine grit sandpaper or something and just kind of polish this. That will reduce any wear on the gun. If it's all rough, you're gonna start digging a gouge in the thing. So it's a pretty simple fix. All you're gonna do is just shorten this, like I said, and that is the entire adjustment that you're gonna need to do. There is nothing else that you need to touch. I apologize for the shaky hands while holding the camera. I hope that everybody is able to use their gun properly after this. I know that mine has worked perfectly, absolutely flawlessly after doing this modification. It took about 5 tries to get it right. I knew the whole time that this was the issue. I just didn't know how much to take off. And now that I've given you the micrometer measurement, you know exactly how much to take off. And yeah, I would recommend just going very slow with it, constantly measuring as you go, so that you do not take too much off of it. If you take too much material off, basically what will happen is you will never be able to lock the bolt back. Other than that, the gun will still work. If you go below this lip right here, as you can see, then your bolt will always be falling out. So you don't want that either. But just take your time. It's pretty easy and simple. If you're able to take the gun apart, just like I just did here, then you should have no problem with this. I hope everybody enjoyed the video, and I hope this keeps you shooting.